Highthumos, and welcome back. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Today we have to talk about weed-induced depersonalization and psychosis. All right? This is something I think a lot of men and women deal with, but no one really talks about it because it's kind of uncool to hate on marijuana. All right? It's becoming legal everywhere. People love marijuana, dude, and I have nothing against marijuana, but I think there are a few individuals, many individuals suffering from the consequences of smoking, having a bad trip, and then you come out on the other side. You open that bathroom when you lock yourself in there, or you wake up the next day and something's just a little bit off. And it blew my mind when I was talking to the guys in our highthumos Discord group. One guy started giving he was explaining how he felt after he smoked. And he said he had smoked before, everything was fine. But then one time he had a bad high. He woke up and he sort of felt like just different in this weird haze. Like everything was a little bit less real. Like there was more of an illusion going on. Like he was just not himself. And it was amazing because no one's really ever talked about it in our group. I think people are afraid, again, to tell about their bad experiences with weed. But he started talking about it, and about 20 other guys started talking how they had something similar happen to them. I had something similar happen to me. When I lived in Akron, probably about 8 years ago, I think it was now, I smoked, and dude, for about a year, guys, I went through depersonalization. Depersonalization, by the way, is a disorder that occurs when you persistently or repeatedly have the feeling that you're observing yourself from outside your body, that your surroundings are not real. It's a sense that things are not real, okay? So if you're experiencing that, listen up, because we're going to talk about some ways to treat that and overcome it without taking drugs and without going to have to see a therapist. If you need to see a therapist, that's fine. There's no shame in therapy. I recommend you go talk to someone. The cool thing about our group is that we have other men there that provide that therapy, that brotherhood. And so we started talking, and it was amazing to see what they're dealing with. So I smoked, and for a year, I started falling into depression. Everything started to feel really weird, man. I swear I had like minor schizophrenia. I was sitting at a stoplight, and the road beneath me and the light just started to shift. And this was 3 months after I had smoked. So the road starts to shift. Everything just feels kind of not real. When I'm talking to someone, I never had a problem with looking them in the eye. And then it would be like I was looking at them, and then during the conversation, it would just be like time would sort of freeze like this. Like I would be in my little bubble all of a sudden. And I would start to think about, instead of paying attention and listening to what they were saying, I would think about, it would almost seem like they could hear my thoughts. That's the best way to put it. Like they could hear my thoughts. When I get really high, I don't smoke anymore, but when I would get really high, I thought that people could hear my thoughts. And I was saying some crazy stuff, like when I smoke, dude, it's like my brain is overloaded because I already think a lot. I already have like 50 windows open all the time. It's like when the tabs on your PC, like I got like 50 of those open. When I smoke, it's like 500 of them things, and they're all perverse and filled with like gruesome stuff. And I faced it, and I just think maybe it's been good for me not to take myself too seriously, realize that at the end of the day, I'm a human, I'm an animal. There's a lot of these primal things inside of you that society kind of overrides. And when you smoke, you get hit with that, you peel back the layer of the onion. And that can be scary at first. So, but I realized, I come to accept it. I come to accept myself. I'm not perfect, I'm a human, and it's okay, it's all right. But anyway, so I have 500 tabs open when I smoke, and it just like hits me, dude. I would one time I hit this bong, and this girl walks into the room, and I was with the friends, and in my mind I said, "You ugly hoe, you are one ugly hoe," and in my mind I said that, and then people started looking at me, at least I thought they did, and I thought that I said that out loud, and I was like, oh shit, I'm not trying to be mean to her. I'm not trying to be mean to this girl. So I got up and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. See ya, boom. And besides that, they were like watching SpongeBob or some cartoons on the TV, and I thought it was like porn. I thought it was like, I was like, what the hell's going on, dude? It was crazy, this crazy experience. Anyway, for about a year after that, I got into this depression. I felt like things were weird. My connection with other people suffered. I suffered mentally, just feeling this sense of like floatiness, like I lost my weight to myself. I didn't lose weight. I felt weightless in the world. I think maybe it has to do with your identity is shattered. Because weed can be used as a tool, I believe, to sort of shatter your preconceived beliefs about the world, about yourself. And sometimes that's so strong that something that you just enter this, like what they call it, the tabula rasa, like now you're a blank slate, you're kind of starting over. I think I can't imagine what people experience when they do mushrooms, all right? That's probably next level. So it shows you the core. It shows you what you really are. You know, you're a bag of bones, you're flesh, and all these things you thought about yourself sort of get stripped away. And that can be very, very hard on the mind, and the personality sort of begins to renew and reshape itself from this point. So I think that's what it was. But it was very unpleasant. And so what did I do for myself? Well, now that I look back at it, I started to reshape myself. I started to reinvent myself. And I actually look at it as a blessing. Now I'm not saying go smoke weed and shatter your ego and get enlightened. That's not what I'm saying. But if you are experiencing this, first you need to know that it is going to get better, okay? And if it's bad, man, if you're hearing voices, you're going through schizophrenia, you are just lost, go get some help. Don't look for a YouTube video to do it. Go get some help. But if you're one of those guys that are just like, man, something feels a little bit off. Then here I'm telling you, you just got to go back. I would start to give your life structure and purpose. That is the very first thing, dude. I started to fill my day with structure and purpose and energy habits. Like, I would wake up, I would take a cold shower because that cold made me feel like I had weight to my body. Like I would feel my skin get tight. My senses came back to me. I would take this deep breath, oxygen would flood my body and my brain. And I would feel a sense of groundedness, a sense of wholeness. It's not a bad thing to have an ego. That's what you got to understand. Ego gets in the way when it causes you to not let life happen, and that takes away this sort of ability to let go of things that you can't control. That's when I think ego is bad. Ego is not bad, and it is actually necessary for a man to have ego because it makes you want to conquer. It gives you ambition. It makes you want to have conquests. Think about Alexander the Great. The guy had an ego. He's over there becoming the king at like in his 20s. He's out there going to war and taking over nations and leading people in such an early age. You don't get that kind of force without some sort of driving ego that is in your mind, without some belief in self. And so to shatter the ego sort of leaves you void and meaningless and floaty. And so to bring weight back, now you need to bring structure. You need to include structure and practices in your daily life. So I would take a cold shower. I started hitting the gym consistently. There was not like, am I going to go today? No, it was like, I'm going today. This is the routine. And so I started to get stronger. Like Yukio Mishima says in Sun and Steel, fabulous book, by the way, that the sun and the steel gave him a sense of purpose. It gave him a sense of wholesomeness, intelligence, seeing the body push instead of being so caught up in here. I think when you're going through depersonalization, psychosis, it's all of the thoughts up here. Now, when you can bring it back into a total body experience, your body experiencing the world around you, again, that brings you down. It tethers you to the earth, and it brings you back into your masculine frame. And that's what you need as a man. You have to feel grounded where you are, be able to be calm. When you're up here, it's really heady. It's like your head's in the clouds. I mean, that's why they call it high, because you elevate to such a point where you leave the base, the masculine frame, and you're more in your thoughts and ideas. Now, you have to bring yourself back. So again, get off the drugs. I would get off every drug. Get off the drugs, come back to a sort of baseline, and then build from there. And so the workouts became every single day. I would obviously take rest days 2 times a week. I would start to nourish my body. I was eating enough calories. That way I had energy. My energy started to get back together. I started to try to be social. I would actually make a goal to go out and say hi to like 5 people every day. It was just something I did, no questions asked. It wasn't like, No, it was just like I would talk to the lady at the cash register. I would talk to the janitor. I would talk to the guys at the front desk of the gym. I would talk to girls, and it was just like it made me more human, because the more that I felt like I wanted to be isolated and I actually isolated myself, that caused me to get more and more in my head. Law 18 in the 48 Laws of Power says isolation is dangerous. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. It is by far, I think, very important when you're dealing with depression, when you're dealing with depersonalization, a sense that your surroundings are real, that life is kind of meaningless. You have to make yourself more human. You do that by making connections with other humans. You have to bring love into your life. You have to bring oxytocin. You have to bring dopamine. You have to bring serotonin. You have to bring these feel-good chemicals in your life. And you get that from interacting with other people, and it makes you more weighty. And so it was nutrition. It was hitting the gym. I wish I would have done martial arts back in the day. I didn't do them then. I would say you need to be physical. Go out, get sun, let it hit your skin, and nourish yourself. Go on long walks in nature. Let nature bathe you. Let it baptize you. I would also, instead of just doing like bodybuilding workouts, I introduced the highthumos carries workouts that we've all been doing on Sundays or the weekend, where now instead of just lifting a weight stationary, you actually are bringing like a farmer's walk or a suitcase carry or a fireman's carry. Or a bear hug carry. Now you are introducing a weight to the gait pattern. So gait, G-A-I-T. So when you walk, now you have this load and you have this force against you when you're walking. All right, and so it's like, I can't explain it, but it sort of raises the testosterone. It raises the testosterone. It gives you a sense of wholeness, and so your feet are now planted on solid ground. And I would add that a couple times a week. Honestly, I would add heavy carries. It sounds crazy, but I seriously recommend it. This is also the time. This is another crazy thing, but this is all my experience and what I did. If you guys have some remedies, some treatments, then post it down below. I started listening to metal, and metal gave me a sort of catharsis, a cathartic outlet for stress and anxiety. And I know it sounds silly, probably a lot of you guys hate metal. I'm not talking about like Metallica. I'm talking about heavy stuff. And I've made a video on metal for men, but I even learned how to scream. Like not just like, ah! No, but like, from like a metal vocal, like deep, and I would do that in my car. And it was this cathartic way for me to release this pent-up energy and this anxiety inside my head. I've been doing that for years, dude. Whenever I'm in the car, dude, I'm screaming. People probably look at me like I'm turning on metal, or when I'm listening to music. But or I won't even turn on music. I'll just freaking yell. But it takes practice. Don't just try to scream. You'll damage your vocal cords. If you want to learn how to do metal vocals, go look up something, okay? But it was this release, and you need that. When you're stuck in your head, that's what it is. You don't want to be an enemy in your own mind, okay? You want to get comfortable in there. You want to get comfortable in your body, okay? And you want to make things real, all right? So loving connections, physical activity, sun and steel, nature, good nutrition, and, fix your damn sleep, man. Fix your damn sleep. You can't be up late playing Warzone or Fortnite with the boys. You got to get sleep. You got to get sun in your eyes in the morning, get that sunlight hitting your eyeballs and increasing your dopamine and your testosterone, okay? That's super critical. Whatever you're going through now, realize that it will pass. This is the time where I started reading Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I highly recommend you read that book. It's a fantastic book. It centered me, it grounded me, and it gave me a way to view life. And that's true stoicism. That's not watered down, trendy stoicism. Marcus Aurelius' Meditations is really the only stoic book that you need. Or you could read Epictetus, but I really recommend you start with Marcus Aurelius. And you don't need Ryan Holiday and all this other BS stoic stuff, but just read right from the source, okay? And that's it, man. And then once you get that solved, then it's on to the next step. Then it's on creating your life, building it. But now you need structure, you need routine, you need habits, okay? Guys, if you're struggling with this, please reach out to me, talk to me. It was a miserable time in my life, but I got through it, and I wish I had other men there to help me. I'm here for you. If you want to talk to me personally, like over voice chat, come join our group, all right? If you want, I'm do voice chats every Mondays and sometimes randomly throughout the week. We also have a ton of cool men in there changing their lives, pushing each other. We're all working out. We do check-ins every Friday. We're losing weight. We're gaining muscle. We're going out there. We're talking to women. We're figuring our careers out. We're making money on the side. It's amazing. I think you guys will love this place. It's $5 to join. All right, so come check it out. There's a link down below. I host it on my Patreon. So if this video has helped you, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Leave a comment down below. Let me know, if your story on dealing with this or how it sort of happened to you. I want to talk to you more. All right, I'll see you soon, guys. Peace.